Hello, I'm Vanessa Harbour. I'm the author of Safe and Flight, both of which are published by Firefly. This is another short video in the educational resources that I've done just to help schools out where I can. This one is talking about nature and how I've used nature in my stories. I'm just going to share the screen with some images that I've got for you. So let's put those up where I can. Love technology, make it work. There we go. So let's go back. There we go. Right. So these are my two books, Safe and Flight. In both of them, nature has played a very important role. I love nature and it's very important to me. It's played a bigger role in Safe possibly than Flight, mainly because Kizzy is the main character and she is a Roma, and it is to do with her background, as you will see as we go through this presentation. So I love forests, I love woods, I love going to the woods. These pictures come from a wood near me, and they were taken in the spring, and it's actually normally full of bluebells, which you can see in one of them. There are a few bluebells there. It's a wood that I use for inspiration. I love the sound of the wind going through the trees and the noise it makes as the branches and the leaves rustle. Maybe next time you go into wood, just stand there and just listen as the trees make its orchestral sound. It is incredible. It's a very moving sound to me. Yeah, I sound a weirdo don't I? But no, it is really very, very beautiful and very powerful. And something that I love very much because it's a very special sound. Because I think about all the animals that are living in the woods and all the birds and the deer, and which is why I like walking through them. And you see there's a path track that goes through this wood as well. Now this I used for inspiration in Safe as well, because at the beginning of their journey they take a hidden track, and this is very much based on this track here, though it's actually wider in the story. But I would go to this and visit it a lot to get inspiration as to what it might look like, what it might feel like, what it might sound like as they walked through there. Because that's what's so important is, and what I like to do when I'm writing is I like to be able to imagine the place and know what it might feel like to be there. Flight has forests in it as well, but not quite so much as Safe. Now, Kizzy, as I said, is the main character in Safe, and she comes from a Roma background. And she has learnt a lot about survival. She was taught lots of things by her parents, which has meant that she has known how to do things like fish, like how to use certain plants as medicine. She creates poultices for the horses. She uses certain medicines to help with fever and things. And also she knows what plants you can and can't eat. Now, it's very important that you know that she can do this because her parents taught her exactly what you can and can't use. Now, you must never, ever eat anything unless somebody has told you it is safe. Because there are lots of plants and things out there that are dangerous. So you must never eat anything unless somebody has told you it is safe. But this is why Kizzy was able to do it, because she had parents that had the knowledge to be able to teach her how to do fish the way she did, how to use the plants in the way she could, and how she could go hunting because of the background that she had. Now, for example, the fungi that I've got in the picture there is actually a black footed fungi, and it creates white rot, which is why it's growing on dead trunks of trees there, and it's not edible at all. It's very tough and it's horrible, but you shouldn't ever eat it. But Kizzy'd know that. Kizzy'd know not to touch it. Kizzy's clever and she likes to share her knowledge, but you must never ever eat anything unless an adult has told you it is safe. So the important thing with nature is it is a wonderful source of inspiration when writing. It creates a brilliant palette of colours and perfumes that you can use when you are creating a narrative. For example, we've got here all the colours of summer, beautiful flowers. You can think about the perfumes and what they might smell like. And the one on the left, the fuchsia, almost looks like a ballerina, doesn't it? Whereas the ones on the right, they look maybe a little bit like sunshine. So it's thinking about how you could use these in your writing. If you go to the autumn, wonderful, fantastical colours, really vibrant. And if you take a leaf like that, it would crackle in your hand as you crushed it, wouldn't it? And how many of you have kicked at leaves? I know we did. I do it with my grandsons. We have great fun. We also might have a few fights with fallen leaves because there are a lot of fallen leaves around us. But that's all good fun, isn't it? And it adds depth to your writing. And then, of course, there's the frost. How beautiful does the frost make nature look? It picks out the leaves and puts almost like icing on it. It's like icing sugar. And how clever is that cobweb in the middle? It's just beautiful and so intricate. But all these things can add depth and detail to your writing. It's like painting pictures with your narratives. Perhaps you could find a leaf or a flower that you could write about. Or maybe your teacher could pause on some of the images and you could use one of those to write with for inspiration. Because don't forget also all the birds and the animals and insects that might be hiding away behind any of these things. Nature is so important in writing because it adds layers, it adds depth, it brings stories to life. And it is so important because it's around us all the time. Wherever we are, there is nature. Even in the centre of cities, there is nature. So don't forget, you can use it in your writing as well. So think about, how would you use it? What could you do? Could you find a leaf to crinkle in your hand? Or find a beautiful flower? Or maybe see a robin as it flies by? I love using nature in my stories. How are you going to use it in yours? I'd be interested to hear. what you could do. Let me know. Maybe also have a look in Safe or Flight and see if you can pick out where I've been using ideas of nature and what I've done with it. I'd love to hear. Take care.